In this lesson video, we are going to cover global versus local transformation orientation. By default, Blender uses the global space reference to move, rotate, and scale objects. Basically, in a global space, z-axis is always pointing up, x-axis always pointing this way, and y-axis always pointing that way, all static or based on a 3D world orientation. Now, what if we want to move an object forward, but the object's orientation is not straight? For example, this monkey. If I press R, then Z, then rotate this a bit like so. Then let's activate the Move tool so we can see the Move manipulator. At this condition, it is difficult to move the object that way along the direction where it is currently facing. We cannot use the y-axis because the global y direction is straight this way, not this way. This might seem like a trivial thing, but just imagine if you have to animate a spaceship or a boat, for example, or perhaps you just need to model an object that is not facing straight to any of the global axes. Before we move the object, first, let's discuss about the local space. Every 3D object in Blender has its own local space. This monkey object, for example, has a local space also. It has a minus y-axis pointing towards this direction. To activate the local space, we need to go to the header area and click this pull-down list. We can see that Blender actually provides us with different types of axis references, or officially called transformation orientation. Let's pick local here. Notice now the manipulator axes are aligned with the object's orientation. The y-axis is not pointing this way anymore. Instead, it is pointing this way. So at this stage, we can easily move the monkey forward by dragging the Y handle of the manipulator. Let's switch this back to the global mode for now, and use the select tool. We can use the local axis constraint with the shortcut. For example, we want to move this monkey object along its local y-axis again just like before. To do that, first, press G to activate the move mode. Then, you need to press the Y letter key twice. The first Y key pressed will only constrain it to the global y-axis. The second time you press the Y letter key will activate the local y-axis constraint. Notice it has the green colored axis, but the orientation of the axis is different from the global y-axis. Now, we can move the object along its local y-axis. Okay? Now what if we want to cancel the constraint and go back to the free dragging mode? Well, we need to press Y again the third time. As you can see, we are now not bound to any axis anymore. Another method to clear the axis constraints is by pressing the C letter key. And this C shortcut works with any transformation modes and with any axis constraints mode. So if I press G to move, then press Z to activate the Z-axis constraint. Pressing C will negate the constraints, so we are back in the free move mode. To recap, after pressing G to activate the grab or the move mode, pressing Y once will constrain the movement to the global y-axis. Pressing Y again the second time will activate the local y-axis. And finally, if we press Y again, the constraint will be off. This way, we can move the object freely again. You can also press the C letter key at any stage to clear the constraints. For rotation and scale, basically, the concept and the method are the same. So I will leave this to you to try them yourselves.